notes from my November 2024 reading of a 2020 autobiography of Alicia Keys. Today is Friday, 15 November 2024. So I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm going to talk through my book and reading notes for my November 2024 reading of an autobiography on musical artist Alicia Keys. More Myself, A Journey by Alicia Keys with Michelle Burford. This is the March 2020 Flatiron Books First edition hardcover, ISBN in the video description. I started the book on Wednesday, 13 November 2024, and finished the book on Friday, 15 November 2024, which is today, same day I'm filming this. It's 257 pages. It took me 3 days. I read 20 pages Wednesday, 120 pages Thursday, and 117 pages Friday today. It's a public library copy. I put it on hold. I have read this before, so this is not my first time reading this. There we go. I put it on hold and then picked it up. So, okay, book notes, including construction and design. We got another black and gold. We have the 2003 Hillary Clinton autobiography, the 2017 the Kardashians black and gold, the Hillary Clinton one with black and gold, and then the 2019 Julie Andrews black and gold. So this is 2020 black and gold Alicia Keys. Popular choice. So it's formatted. This is what it looks like for the beginning of a chapter. There's a block quote from somebody else. It's written by somebody else. And then at the beginning of, and it's a smaller font, and it's at the beginning of each chapter. And then there's the chapter and the title of the chapter, and then the name of the person who wrote the quote. And then full text pages, maybe like medium font, 1.25 spacing. So author name Alicia Keys. Well, technically not author name, author stage name. So Keys is not her last name, it's a stage name, Alicia Keys. Even page numbers, and then More Myself with the title without the subtitle on the odd pages. Page numbers at the top. There's no pictures. And there's a few breaks in paragraph, but not too many. And it's 257 pages, including the About the Authors section. Reading notes, I think I finally got it. It's taken me a long time. I was born in the early to mid 1990s, so I've been around kind of for the entirety of her career, kind of back to 2000 and more recent. And I've been tuned in and seen and heard stuff kind of as it happened. I think she's my sister, Lindsay. If my sister were an only child, I finally figured it out. Okay, so if you have any idea what that means. And I'll go through what I flagged. I did have a note. Some ask if I'm going to include Alicia Keys in my autobiography. Well, I didn't make the list for songs, but I did. Well, per this book, she claims her mom is of Italian ancestry. Perhaps if I ever get that second YouTube channel started, maybe she would be up for eating some gelato and or pizza with me. Now, the question is, do I put Alicia or Keys in the title? Definitely Keys, as I had an in-person friend named Alicia growing up. Then perhaps the real question is whether I should invite Keys or Ciara. Perhaps neither. Perhaps I asked one and they turn it down. Then maybe not invite the other. My first pick is Ciara. I thought that was curious. There were a number of R&B artists at the same time, and she didn't really bring them up. I guess this is kind of about stiff-arming the industry. All right, it's really about her and not providing context for the musical landscape that she blossomed and took off in. So there we go. Page 13. So her mom is white. She said the book claims that her mom is 100% pure white of Italian ancestry, and she talks about how she couldn't understand her mom's skin. Her mom's skin is like mine. There's white with a different thing on it, but it's not actually white. She calls it beige. And she calls the dots brown, but she was not tolerant nor accepting of her mother's skin, and she said she couldn't understand why they wouldn't just all become one thing and she'd turn brown. I was like, talk about racial hate of one's mother. We know how she feels about me. She hates me and my skin. Alicia Keys. All right. Page 17, she says her dad was not there when she was born. All right. Page 24. So she had started playing the piano, and her mom what, for the most part, let her kind of do whatever she wanted to do, but she really was excelling in the piano. So her mom was like, you can quit whatever you want except for just not this. All right, so there's a very good mom in terms of being like, she has a talent, pursue it. My parents were not quite like that. They were more flexible. However, they did encourage us. They didn't say we couldn't quit, but they did encourage us. Like, for Alicia Keys, she was good at music. For me, I was good at mathematics and running, like soccer, and swimming. But swimming was a cultural, like where I lived, there was a community pool funded by residents, right? So soccer was kind of the one that was more like, stick with it. And same with my sister. So I'm a science and mathematics and sports kind of person. And she's music. So, page 27. She talks about she used a condom when she lost her virginity, and then somehow the used condom ended up under the couch and her mom caught it. Page 29, and she was pretty young, like 14, 15, 16, something like that. 14. Page 39. Quote, this is a pretty good one. Truth in its rawest form is what resonates most powerfully, unquote. You guys know I support truth and honesty. So, okay. Page 50. I thought this was an alternative perspective. A lot of people live their lives to have no regrets, and some people talk about their regrets and working through them and stuff like that. And she goes, I don't believe in regret, unquote. I mean, that's the perfect escapism approach, right? It just doesn't exist. If I say it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. That's page 50. Page 73, she kind of gets smacked down by Oprah. She gets a, invitation to be on the show, like she's gonna be the show. And then after she gets that, they like start talking through it, and Oprah's like, let's make it a piece about a bunch of artists. Right, so like essentially she like goes, okay, you're invited, and then it's like, oh, I don't like you, backpedal, Oprah, about Alicia Keys, and so they make it about a number of artists. And I think I've seen footage of this one, or the interview and stuff, and Oprah got handsy with Alicia, and Alicia had midriff showing, and like Oprah touched it, and I was just like, rape. Kind of like, bad lady. I've been sexually assaulted and touched without my consent and stuff. I'm just like, huge red flag. To Oprah, right? Just no. Okay. Page 87. But in addition to the stuff that I've seen, right, she slammed Alicia before she even came on the show by divvying up the show to not be about her anymore. Which is really sad. But Oprah's not really known for being a nice person. Okay, page 87. Alicia says that her hats are just her thing. If there's an article of clothing, then like, it's just her. It's hats. Okay. Page 99. Oh, Oprah decides to take another swing at Alicia Keys. I was like, this might be like the most offensive thing that a person could say to Alicia Keys, right? It says, quote, keep your love life to yourself. She told me, keep some of you for you, unquote. Alicia Keys' music is all about love and my personal life and stuff. And I was just kind of like, way to just be like, you are a horrible person, Alicia. Don't be yourself. Maybe she'd never listened to any of Alicia Keys' music. Ditzy, tuned out, or just super hateful. Right, so I was like, wow, that must have been such a slap in the face. Yeah. Okay, page 118. She talks about, this is about 2006, she talks about sitarists, and I was like, did you take up the sitar because of the penniless sitar player in Moulin Rouge, the 2001 film? John Leguizamo, reads this book and goes, that's so horrible. They were so horrible. The musicians were horrible. They were all like, we're going to use sitars now because it was in Moulin Rouge, the movie, with Nicole Kidman and Ian McGregor. It's like, but I read that, his, 2006 autobiography earlier this year. So I was like, that one caught my attention. All right, page 125. something, she talks about she's not ready to make a connect, to get married, and she's 26 years old. It's kind of like she had some ultimatum set in her life where she wasn't ever going to marry a man, and then the first man that comes along, she's just like, no. And do everything possible to get out of the relationship. Cold feet. Cold feet. Right. Okay, page 127, she introduced the next partner she had, significant other, as her soulmate. So she does use the term soulmate. That's page 127. At page 151, she claims, through in her eyes, an artist-manager relationship, that kind of a workplace pairing is like a marriage. I vehemently oppose that kind of thing. I had an abusive supervisor who called a letter of recommendation like a marriage, and I was just like, no. I value my significant other, my personal life. And I'm especially not about to impose, like, if I have a mentee or a student, that they're my husband or wife. I find that so unbelievably inappropriate. But it's just who Alicia Keys is. So that's page 151. Page 173. She says she doesn't go more than 2 weeks without seeing her significant other. I go, well, when I was in academia, research, like mentor, mentee, advisor, advisee, student, advisor, that kind of thing, we saw each other weekly. I was like, go figure, science and mathematics has a higher level of in-person interaction than the entertainment industry. I love my community, my base community. It's really a home. Okay, page 217, way back when I was thinking through that second channel that I brought up earlier. I thought about that back about when I started this channel. Actually, it was like, school, and especially like what I did in graduate school, it was full-time work, full-time student, that kind of thing. At least sometimes, or full-time work, part-time student. How did it work again? Point being, it took me 2 years to get my associate's degree, 5 years after that to get my bachelor's degree, and then I was in graduate school for over 4 years, and that was full-time student, and I had work in like full-time work. It was a bunch of work, and I was like, I should show that on a YouTube channel because of what she does here. She talks about how her significant other was at Harvard for a 3-week intensive. I was like, that does not compare to my over a decade of full-time. Right? And perhaps we need places in this world where we can see that what I did was actual work, not just a 3-week intensive. Right? Okay. And then page 224, she talks about storming the National Mall in the streets and stuff in protests. And I was like, way to continue rubbing in. So I'm a Euro Native American. When we've had our land taken away and our basic human rights of mobility on our land, right? She continues to mock us and put us down and oppress us by trampling our lands without our consent. Meanwhile, we're forced onto reservations. So she's very disrespectful, hateful of us Native Americans, or people, those of us with at least part. Anyway, in conclusion, marked full book number 62 for me for the 2024 year. I mean, like 4 out of 5 stars. Not the best, but I've read it.